fucked up, man, in Avengers. He went, oh. You know? Hey, you know, as soon as I saw that, I was thinking numbers. You know, 2 men on a staff with a cluster of grapes, man. I was thinking, what the fuck's this shit?
I was thinking, what the hell's the rum, bro?
Right.
Hey, if you go to the British Museum, there's a you know an image on the siege of Lachish.
Yeah.
There's a relief of it on the wall, right? I remember looking at it with a brother, and I noticed that the grapes were huge. They were bigger than the men. And you know, people might go there and just think, oh, that's how the artist drew it. Nah, they were drawing the relief was actually what was real, what was going on at that time.
The earth was much stronger,
which is in line with that scripture.
Much stronger.
You know, you can go to the British Museum and go to that bit, the Siege of Lachish, and have a look at their relief and see it for yourself.
Can I even say it as well? Because there's even a saying, like, you know, like when you watch movies, like as children we watch movies and we all love the heroes, but when you get older and in the spirit you get seasoned, you understand the villains, you understand like the way the Jokers and the Banes and Zods, because they're really the heroes. They're the unsung heroes. They're actually, you know what I mean? They're the unsung heroes.
Because it was good. You had bloody Superman. Zod is like, but look, this pod has our entire, a race. We can bring back our race.
It's like, no, I can't do it now.
He went one worse than that. He was like, we had our chance. Nigga, it's your chance to make it again.
The second comment we had to
it's true, because the Lord says in Malachi 3, right, therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed, I change not, man. Right? Because if the Lord had that same mentality, we'd be fucked.
I mean, you've seen the bitch that was in Superman. Yeah. Was it
Lois Lane.
No, the chick.
Yeah.
Better than Lois Lane, man. That's a warrior girl, man. This guy didn't even bat eyelid, man.
Even in Aquaman, man.
Fighting a girl.
Aquaman's another good movie. Because in technicality, Aquaman was an illegitimate son because they made it through the mother's line. They made it through the matriarchy, when in actuality it should have been through the patriarchy. But then, you know, Esau twisted it and be like, he's still the king. But it was a good movie, but really and truly, it was off work. Because
his brother was wanted the throne, man. His brother wanted to take over. He had he wanted the crown ship and all that. And he wanted to rule Earth, land. He basically take over the Earth and sea. But you know, Aquaman had to play that part.
What was he lamenting about? He said, "You guys ruined the sea."
Yeah, you saw a fish with a 6-pack of bare plastic entangled and shit, you know? So his brother was really the righteous one. He was like, look, we need to rule over these heathens. Like, fucking up our world. You know?
But it makes sense.
Right.
But then that's how Esau subverts people, man. Because you watch the movie, we watch the movie, we get simple sometimes. You're like, Aquaman won. But it's like a simple-minded mind. Because what's really the message? The message is that what? The dude, we're rejoicing over the guy that's stopping the ocean being cleaned up. You see what I'm saying? We're really watching Avengers. The Avengers fucking perpetuate more death, man.
Right.
Oh yeah, for real. They killed all the Jakes in the building. All them They killed Black Panther's dad and all that, man.
But no, I'm saying like Thanos was gonna revitalize the world, right? That's actually a righteous act. Because really, when you check it out, Howard Shire is gonna do that. Because Howard Shire said that what? The Lord's gonna do an ethnic cleansing of all the nations, including the 12 tribes of Israel.
That's right.
There's gonna be, I believe the scripture says, there's gonna be many killed by the Heavenly Father's Son, man. A lot of
slain of the Lord shall be many.
Slain of the Lord shall be many, man. And why is that? Because there's a lot of wicked people that's on the earth that destroyed the earth. They committed all types of
a perfect
iniquity,
example of that is the X-Men with Apocalypse. Because Apocalypse in the movies and even the cartoons, he comes back and he says the weak have taken over. He knew. And
then that goes to show you Esau knows. But he's like, well, these people can't even, if they can't see through the movies and see that really the bad guy is the good guy. Well, I'm being
Brightburn.
Brightburn,
Brightburn.
Oh, Brightburn,
You know Brandon Breyer?
Right.
Yeah, man. When he turned the age of 12, he started getting, man. You know? Take. Yeah, the spirit was speaking to him. Take the world, and he took the world, man.
But Esau make it look like to be like that in that spirit. You're wrong, you're a bad person for wanting vengeance. But Esau gets vengeance all the fucking time, man.
Oh, you know another good movie, the Batman Begins.
Because
he said, basically, Batman failed. When you really watch it, Batman failed, man. He fucked up the whole city. That's why the whole city ended
Went
up being
into
as
crime.
jacked up as it was. Because all he had to do was follow Razak Gold's plan and everything would have been renewed.
About Isaiah 66.
I mean, we use the movies, but the movies, they give you context. They let you visualize these things, man. Go on, bro, sorry.
Yeah, Isaiah 66 and 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
And the beautiful thing about that as well is that the chariots are going to be the salvation of Israel. But even through Esau's propaganda, you've got a lot of Israelites that don't understand that. Like, you're going to have Israelites that will see the chariots and they'll be playing to the army, like, get them, fucking, call the army. Where the first fever?
They don't want this place to be destroyed. The wicked of our people want this place to continue. You know?
You had,
They want to,
you had that nigga on the World Star. We need to be shooting that. We need to be shooting that. Dummies.
We need to be shooting that. What do you mean, bro? What happens to, wait, so we went from swing low, sweet chariot, so we need to be shooting that.
Man.
Oh, hey, come on, bro. Something happened, man. Through, man.
Quick precepts, cursing.
God damn.
Yeah, King Joe's alright. GMOs.
That's like looking at your own dad and trying to shoot him, man.
Finish, man.
Like, no, I don't need that.
Yeah.
But you're through when you're doing that, man. Got a piece of after you here, go on, bro.
This is on the point about, you're saying that they justify the villains. You know? No, the villains are really the good guys. This is Proverbs 17 and 15. He that justifieth the wicked and he that condemneth the just, even they both are abomination to the Lord.
That's the vocabulary. Because, bro, that's all he's been doing. Like, all we do is bring on. And I find it strange how he just rolled up on so many different camps. He just turned up. Do you know what I mean? He just out of nowhere. He just literally just rolled up out of nowhere. How do you get? Do you know what I mean? And it's not just one city. Because America's a big place. He's going to New York. Then all of a sudden he's in Dallas. Then he's like. When you gotta understand, it's all a set of propaganda, but you can't, the scripture says in Numbers that there ain't no enchantment or divination against Israel. Even if we weren't here prophesying, the Heavenly Father could literally, like it says in the scripture, raise up stones unto Israel to prophesy the word. So, ultimately speaking, the word is pretty much already out there in the Urim and the Thummim, man. You can't delete it, it's out there, man. You can't get rid of the word. Go on, bro, is there more?
Yeah, it just says, and even they both are abomination to the Lord. So if you're justifying wicked, because even in the movies you were saying that, well, Batman's really the bad guy. He represents Esau, the Joker and all that.
The Joker said to him, what do you owe these people? Like, I mean, he said these sweet, and roughly paraphrasing, he said these innocent people, you take away a little something and they'll turn on each other, and it's the truth.
Yeah. Oh, there's that one quote that, brother, you always quote that.
Well, when he's talking to him in the interrogation room.
Yeah, there's that. And
These civilized people.
And there's also the one about the fire, that the butler says to Batman. He says,
Oh, the bandit that was stealing the rubies and all the gems
some people missed
and just handing it out to the people.
Yeah.
Some people, Mr. Wayne, just want to see the world burn. That's what he said.
we want the destruction to come.
That's it.
And that's justified. That's the just.
Man.
Why? Because we want the wicked to die.
Yeah, we don't want reparations. Yeah, we don't want, FRNs, with your white face on it. Fuck that, man. We're here to take the world. When Yahweh Shai raises us up.
That's right.
The system needs to be changed.
Right.
Well, we want Yahweh Shai to take the world.
That's it.
Psalms 2.
Yep.
Them same FRNs you're talking about, remember we was watching that documentary that's on explained, them same FRNs had slaves on the money. Not only 300-400 years ago. You go into the different museums that they have money in, you look at the money from like 300 years ago, you had slaves on it, man. And then cotton.
Cotton.
And that's what people are they're fighting
Killing
for.
themselves to get.
So the Netflix documentary explained, and then it's our first episode, the racial wealth gap. Man.
Explain,
Bro, that racial wealth gap thing is serious, bro. It's serious, bro. It's serious. Because even when you look at the statistics, among so-called whites, it's like 1 in 5. Amongst Jake, it's like 1 in 50. And even then, it's like for them to be rich, there's only like a couple of avenues through music, sports, and you gotta be entertainment for Esau. That's for the most part. Like you have Jakes that will have certain things. But the majority of Jakes are ball players and footballers. Like you can't.
And there's a reason it's been designed. You have to have, and this goes back to another movie, the Batman movie. It says the worst hell is a hell where there's hope. And that's how Esau makes it out. He gives you that hope. He has to falsify hope. And in falsifying hope, he gives you your LeBron James, your Oprah Winfrey's. So you got something to aspire to. You ain't never gonna get there, man.
Unattainable.
That makes you what? That makes you run in the rat race, but it's the unattainable. I don't look at the word I'm looking for.
And then even with that, as
holy
well,
grave, girl, if you will, man. It's unattainable.
And with that, then it creates that covetousness and envy, which is often a scripture. So then you have a Jake, like fuck, like you know what? You give a Jake like, okay, I could do this scam, and I could scam my brother, or I could do this, but fuck it, why not? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's
Spat Nation.
Spat Nation. That's why you get the Spat Nation.
And they did the same thing in the, when you had the gladiators. Who wants to be a gladiator? But you're gonna make it entertaining. You want to make money off of it. Okay, if you make it a few rounds, then you're gonna get. If you make it a few fights, then we'll give you your freedom. And that's how they got them different gladiators fighting. You know, fighting with conflict. That's the word I'm looking for. They was fighting there, but they was fighting with fervor because you think you might actually get your freedom. You see what I'm saying?
Well, like they showed you in Gladiator.
In Gladiators,
the wooden sword.
They give you the sword of freedom. But then that's all to do with what? That's all to give the people hope. False hope.
This is 1 Timothy chapter 6.
I mean, false hope is powerful, man. It's a very powerful tool. That's how people
It's an illusion.
keep working so hard, man. That's why your mom works 2 jobs. That's why you know your dad is slaving, trying to work 3 shifts, sleeps 3 hours, and
Man's already his pension age.
that's it. Beyond pension age. That's because why? Because they keep you in, and when you check it out, it's better to go and live in a so-called third world.
Facts.
Because the life you're gonna live there, okay, they call it poor, but the life you're gonna live there is better for you. But they keep you out here because they give you the hope of the Anthony Joshua's. Okay, your son could be like that. It never comes to pass, and you're always in that rat race, man.
And even in this society, it's like you don't know. Like you might build up something for yourself, but then your son might just be a wicked ass demon and spend your shit. Like you even had accounts with Samuel, for example. Samuel, the judge, one of the main first judges of Israel, had 2 sons that were wicked as hell, man. So you don't even know. Like look at Dwayne Wade, for example. His son is a straight up homosexual with nails and crop tops, and he's sneaking up.
That's the father is, so the son is, man. Because really the kid is about 10 years old. He's about 10 years old. What does he know about anything unless his father's taught him?
Real shit. I got a couple still.
That's what they did to Will Smith. And Will Smith and them guys, they're gonna get destroyed, man. Because they exposed their children to some vile stuff when they was young. Kids are innocent. I love kids, man. Kids are innocent. They be in their own little world. You're like, how can you be so happy with so little? Because he's a kid. I know some brothers have got children, they know exactly what I'm talking about. They just have their own world and they're just cute. And then you're gonna expose that to some vile shit, paint their nails and make them wear a tutu, a boy wear a tutu to non-school uniform and shit.
Yeah, wrapping them in rainbow towels.
Yeah.
You know? That's what Esau done. He turned that, you know, the bow in the cloud, he turned it into fucking LGBT. You know? He's fucking perverted everything, man.
Yep. A couple of precepts. It says Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest.
There was even a video, where there was a Jake on the Hot 97 and he was talking about America and the Constitution. And that's another thing as well. When it's common knowledge that we were classed as 3/5 of a man when that was written, but you got Jakes that actually believe that America is for their good. Like they believe, like you'll be surprised how many Jake will speak to. I speak to Jake at work, and their whole dream is to move to America and get a house with a white picket fence and get a nice wife and settle. Bro, you got Jake that will do that though. But the thing is, what you got to understand is America is actually designed for your destruction, your oppression. It's the pit. That's where the whole, like we said earlier, the Virginia thing, 1861. That's where the whole concept of black and white came from, and it was to separate indentured servants from niggas. That's what it was, so that they would basically, so it was to give the lower class whites rights over so-called blacks, man, so that there wasn't no unification. And now when the lower class whites are feeling it, now they want to go, oh yes, you know,
we're in this together.
We're together, you know. You know.
It says, here's my daughter Becky.
this.
I have black friends, you know.
They'll name some Ethiopian.
And so like, even on the point of what you said about the hope as well, because not only will they give you hope financially, they'll give you the Black Panthers. Like, look, you have black groups. They'll give you Barack Obama and be like, yeah, look, black president, the first black president.
They give you.
Look, then you have a little Timmy going to school like, mommy, and then you have the woman, and then, look, don't you want to be like Obama? No, you want to, you know what I mean? No, you want to. But that's Willie Lynch, because it's to raise the son to be dependent on the system, and then the women, oh yeah, independent, fuck the man, you don't need the man, fuck him. Then you just get more single women.
Divide and conquer.
But then that's how they got us. That's how they got us. That Willie Lynch letter really is just all Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, bit by bit, man.
Where it goes all the way back to the garden. The subtle, the serpent was more subtle than any beast in the field. He came to the weaker vessel. From in the beginning, he was like, yep, divide and conquer. He knew what he was doing.
Once they got the man out of the household, because really it starts with the man. The Most High said that what? He dwells in the tabernacles of men, right? So if the man comes home and he's vested within the principles prescribed within the scriptures, then what you have is a situation where the whole household is going to function. Okay, the whole household is going to function. You're going to be putting your house in a particular type of order in a way it's going to function, right? And then that household is going to turn into what? A nation. And then now you got things working out, because you ain't going to have it to where your daughter is just going to marry some random dude. And you know,
you got no understanding.
No understanding.
You know?
You're gonna have it to where you're gonna do the best for your situation. So ultimately, 2-3 generations down the line, just from one couple of men having the right mindset, you got a nation that's functioning right. Esau saw that. He said, nah, we're gonna break down the whole nation. We start with the men. We get the men out the household. They got the man out the household. Now look at the situation, man. And we got skinny jeans and Drake, man.
Right, and job seekers.
Job seekers.
That's right. That's right. Because when you look at it, it all happened around about that.
Sorry, but because just because you said that, again, if you got a man in the household, what do we know from the scriptures? A man's gonna have a particular profession,
right?
And he's gonna teach that profession to who? To his whole family.
Yeah, and he's gonna take care of everybody.
And he's gonna take over it. That's how you begin. That's how. What do you think these elite banking families do, man? You think their sons are out there and lying on the job seekers looking for? Nah, they inherit what their fathers built up, man. And then what happens is you don't have to have the growing pains of learning how to work your trade. Your father already knows 2-3 generations worth of work. He passes the information. You learn it in like a year.
They got that DIY store. I don't know, called Juice Sons or something like that.
Juice Sons, Juice Sons, yeah.
Devils, man.
Yeah.
Juice Sons,
Juice Sons, man.
Yeah, that movie, I don't.
And that thing's been going for a while, man.
Wow, for a long time.
Long time. You gotta build anything, you gotta go to Juice Sons. And what's the other one? I forget the other one's name. Yeah, there's another one. Let me finish this.
Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you.
Yep, it's polluted spiritually. Okay, we just went through. We got the lights. It's just been what so-called Christmas a couple of days ago. Right? That's a fucking philosophy. Sorry, that's a philosophy of the world, man.
But also it's a high holy day in wickedness.
Yeah. It's the shortest day of the year.
Shortest day of the year. They say that's the day that the sun dies.
Right.
It starts. It's risen again. Because on the 22nd. From the 22nd, it's the shortest day, and the sun is dead for 3 days. That's Yule log, winter solstice, they call it. And then when you look into all of these different cultures, have a similar day, celebrating, commemorating that particular festival, no matter what it is that they call it.
And because this whole world, when you go into the holy days, what are holy days? It was particular spiritual days that was observed by whatever culture it was. That's what they're talking about as well, feast days, right? But they was looking for particular days that they observed, okay, depending on what their spiritual persuasion was. If we're going by the scriptures, what are the holy days? Holy days written about within the Old Testament, man. But this society, the holy days of this society, they're about Wicca. They see, like if you follow a witch's calendar, you're gonna find out that most of the time that they give you off at work, it falls right on the witch's calendar, man. Every holiday you get from work, it falls right on the witch's calendar, man. Because this is a society, okay, it's a society about witchcraft, man. It's polluted.
Precept.
Yeah, I got something. Nahum 3 and 4. It says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, talking about America, the mistress of witchcrafts, everyone follows after the beast, as it says in Revelation. They wander after the beast. You know, so they follow their ways, their traditions, their philosophies. Now that pagan, that high unholy day called Christmas, the whole city shut down. No one goes to work. It's kind of like, it feels like a Sabbath whenever the day's supposed to be at rest. You can't even get no transport, nothing. Everything's shut down because everyone's under that illusion that Christmas is something special, man.
Even countries that ain't even so-called Christians.
Yeah, this is a tradition that everyone follows, man.
So they go into this guy, who's this boxer? Amir Khan. They go into this nigga. I was gonna make a video about it, but I said, nah, this is a bit too superficial. But they go onto this dude, Amir Khan, because he had his whole family around the Christmas tree. I thought this nigga was Muslim, man.
See?
Fucking hypocrite.
See?
And them particular people, I think it was even non-Muslims that got on him. I said, look, what are you doing, man? What's going on, bro?
I'll read it again. Nahum 3 and 4 says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts. So, you know, that's the inception of Isaiah 47. That's the inception of America, you know, but that's not going to save them. That's not going to make them America great again. They're still going to get hit with them nuclear missiles. No amount of witchcraft's going to stop them nuclear missiles from traveling from Russia to the interiors of America to destroy that bitch, man.
Isaiah 47 and 12. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be that thou shalt be able to profit, if thou mayest prevail.
Even the fact calling us black people is a sorcery, calling us Africans and Hamites is a sorcery, and then they reinforce that through the music, through the media, through all of that, because really and truly they know that our power is knowing that who we are in Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So by convincing us that we're dealing with the Hamites or we're just the blacks and all the black unconsciousness and all of the rest of the shit, but that really is all polite and that they represent sorcery. Really and truly, polite is nothing but like he's a witch.
He's a warlock, man. That guy's a warlock.
He's a warlock.
It says, Salaki, go on, bro.
No, I was just gonna say he said himself, if you're gonna sell out, that's what we gotta do. He said it. He said it himself. He said it himself.
Hey, if I may add, hey, the scripture says rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft. You know? Hey, polite, you know, he shot up the Bible. He said, nah, it's a holy Bible. This guy, hey man, he's finished, man.
Bro, I ain't gonna shoot the Bible, man.
Yeah, bro. You know?
I ain't gonna shoot, I mean, even like if you have to show up on another books of the even, like you might think twice, and you have to rebuke yourself because you're in the street. You're like, what am I doing, mate? You might, you know what I mean? But you hesitate. This dude, he's on like
that's blasphemy,
on the Bible, bro.
Yeah.
Who's just the Bible, man?
Hey, but you know the scripture says every idle word, man. You're gonna have to give account for the day of judgment.
Every eye's a bullet, man.
Yeah, man.
And maybe prophesied how you gonna die.
That's it.
Man.
God is not mocked, man.
Oh yeah.
Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he reap.
Or rather, the Lord is gonna mock him when His prayer cometh as a whirlwind. You know.
And destruction as a testament.
Right.
Especially all the fraud he's been doing. All the,
Bro, who shoots the Bible, man? Even Esau shoots the Bible, man. Who shoots the Bible, man? And Esau's blessed with a sword, man. You don't see this guy with a fucking AK-47. All right, guys, we're gonna do the do now.
Hey, well, even that guy when he said, "Did you go to the moon, swear on the Bible?" He didn't want to do it. He had some wisdom.
You know what I mean?
That's something you expect Esau to do, shoot up the Bible.
Even Esau.
Even Esau.
Look at when the Lord was crucified and Pilate said, listen, this man is innocent, I don't want his blood upon you. And then the children of Israel like, no, fuck that. Kill him, put his blood upon us and our children. Fuck it, we'll take it. That's the spirit of our people.
That's the spirit of a polite, man. That's the spirit. That's the polite spirit.
Because even the Edomite knew. He was like, yo, this guy, you can't, like, because Pilate in the spirit, you know he would have known, like, yo, if I touch this man, I'm gonna have to pay for this in some form of way. So he said, I don't want that smoke, man. And our people were like, fuck it. then you wonder why you went through slavery and all the fuckery that you went through. And your
That's
children.
called testing the Heavenly Father. What Polite did was testing the Heavenly
tempting the
Father,
Lord,
tempting the Lord. Sorry, that's the wording. Sorry, my bad. For the correction, it was tempting.
I won't even correct it. I'll just
But it was correct, isn't it?
throw the word out.
Now my vernacular is spectacular.
I got a precept. This is Amos 9 and 10. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us.
Shalom, bro.
Because at the end of the day, man, what you gotta understand is that when you're an Israelite, you're held up to a different level of expectation. That, like the whole reason we're in the cursed state that we're in now. The reason that we're in the cursed state that we're in is because the Heavenly Father held Israel to a higher regard. Therefore, He gave us a law. So therefore, we had a higher level of expectation to keep than the heathen. The heathen, although what they do is wicked, the Heavenly Father's got His focus on Israel, man, and what Israel's doing. So, and the fact that we broke the Heavenly Father's laws, that's why we're in this captivity that we're in now. That's why we can't carnally put ourselves back in the kingdom, because no matter what you do, no matter how many righteous brothers you have, there's always gonna be the wicked, the dark seed, the nigga, the dark, the
Judas goats.
the Judas goats that's willing to, oh fuck it, what? So the so-called you can give me such and such, oh fuck it, yeah, fuck them niggas. You're always gonna have the sellouts, man.
Precept. Isaiah 19:3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards.
Because you know the deepest thing about it is ancient Egypt in that same exact location was a powerful empire. Now it's just a holiday destination now. That's what the Heavenly Father can do. The Heavenly Father, Egypt is a holiday destination now. People go to Egypt to just see the pyramids of Giza and go on the tour and go to the beach. That's all people do in Egypt now, but that was once the ancient Martyr Zion that had us in slavery, building up, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, now they're chewing on leaves to get high.
You read that again, bro?
Yeah, bro. Isaiah 19:3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers.
Yeah. Three things. The spirit of Egypt is gonna fail. This is modern day Egypt, starting in America.
Right.
The spirit is failing, man. They got a couple. They got a couple of lights up there. Christmas ain't what it used to be.
Yeah.
You know, these different pagan holidays that they're worshiping. The spirit of people, the whole general feel of this whole kingdom is coming down to it, and the spirit is dying of it.
Well, the scripture said Revelations 11 and 8. The dead bodies spiritually Sodom and Egypt.
Yeah.
You know, Babylon the Great. So it's doomed for failure.
Yeah, and it is failing. And you know what? It says the council.
Yep.
You know, even the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, they're catching hell, man. People are dying and things going wrong for them, and they're probably in the back. They're probably going to the wizards. What's going on?
Michael Jackson. People die. Yeah. You know? That's why.
Earth song and shit.
Hey, we in a time of healing the world, man. You know, we wait for a new heavens and a new earth.
Yeah.
We're in dwelling righteousness,
Hey,
man.
I don't know where the scripture is, but it says, let down your monthly prognosticators.
Yep.
Isaiah 47.
Yep.
You know, because that basically, you know, that's what the Lord's saying to them, let them save you now. Because now they're coming to the crunch time, to the end. You know, if we have a short time, that's why he's setting up all these different false flags and different agents.
That's right.
And know the time for it.
And in ancient Rome as well.
No, say your point.
I was just going to say, real quick, just what you said, just to land back you. In ancient Rome, you had Claudius and Nero. Like, they were actual Roman generals that set up false flags. False flags ain't nothing new. Like, Nero burnt down Rome and blamed the Israelites. You got to understand that you even had a Roman general by the name of Claudius that organized, and he's mentioned in the scriptures as well. And he basically was about the expulsion of the Jews, because basically what the problem they had in Rome was that you had the scribes and the Pharisees already set up, and they had deals, so they were dealing with the Romans on a level of, listen, we're going to cut you off this, we're going to let you have your little something on the side. Just make sure you don't raise too much hell, do what you do on the side, keep it Passover, do what you want, but just don't trouble us. But then the Israelites were like, no, fuck, the followers of Yahushua were like, no, Rome's going down. That's why Yahushua was crucified as the king of the Jews, because it was to make a mockery of him, so that everyone that was following him would look at that and think, yo, I ain't trying to follow this man, because if I follow this man, I'm going to end up on a cross like what the, you know what I mean?
No, the scripture says before honor is humiliation, humility. So, hey man, we're in good company.
That's right. Yeah, just reading on, back in Isaiah 19:3, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and the fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts.
Bro, I'm always quoting that scripture, man. That scripture's hard, straight to the point. A cruel Lord, man. And I think when you look at that word cruel, or is it for fierce? I think the word's koshar, which means severe, hard, vehement.
Come on, man.
The Lord's not playing. The scripture says he was an austere man. So you playing with the wrong one. I hate to use the term, you're waking up the sleeping giant. The Lord ain't sleeping, but he's coming to kick some ass, man.
That's right.
Reset.
Can I just bring out this word?
Go.
Cruel?
Koshar, innit?
Yeah, it is, bro. You're right. Koshar, it says hard, cruel, severe, obstinate, hard, difficult,